Hi, my name is Joshua Schwartz. I'm 24 years old, originally from Long Island, New York, but currently living in Jerusalem and participating in the New Israel Fund Shatil Social Justice Fellowship. And actually, through connections through the Shatil Fellowship, I've met a lot of the current Dorot Fellows. I'm currently dating a Dorot Fellow, so I know a lot about the program, and I think it's a fellowship that I could really grow from and contribute to. So in this introduction, I kind of just want to talk about my life and my development and my growth. As a little boy, I grew up on stories of leaders and heroes, namely the Simba in The Lion King, the Power Rangers, Transformers, and then also Moses, Joshua, and King David from the Tanakh. And a lot of these stories, I saw heroism, I saw redemption, and I saw kind of a sense of what it means to be on the front lines of some monumental change in which good triumphs over evil. And these are things that resonated with me and that it was the kind of leadership that I aspired to. As I grew older in middle school and in high school, the people that I looked up to were more historical figures. George Washington and the leaders of the American Revolution, Abraham Lincoln, who fought the South and ended slavery, American men and women who defeated tyranny, the Nazis and the Japanese in World War II. And then, of course, growing up in a Jewish household, going to a conservative Jewish day school, the men and women of the Zionist movement who faced down their enemies, created a state, and really changed the history of the Jewish people. In hindsight, I totally understand that darker histories and imperfections and flaws accompany all of these historical figures. But I think it's fair to say that they also brought a lot of good into the world. So if we really look at the common theme in a lot of the stories and in a lot of the leaders that I admired, a lot of them had literally fought in battles to protect their loved ones and what they believed in. And for a while, really until the middle of my university years, I thought that military service was a heroic act, but it was always something that I was too scared about to really consider. And in fact, one of my best friends he went to the U.S. Naval Academy and is currently preparing to be a naval pilot, and I've always envied him. But because I've, just been too scared, I always justify it to myself, thinking that there are other ways that I can contribute and I can be more effective in a different capacity. So the leader who really showed me that there was that other capacity was Yitzhak Rabin. I know that he is also culpable in violent and tragic times, but I think that he really embodies kind of what I was looking for, in that he was a warrior and also a peacemaker. And I try to channel that dialectic into a lot of my activism and work. And really using Rabin as kind of the benchmark for the leadership that I wanted to embody, I viewed diplomacy in the Middle East as the track that I wanted to move forward. And it kind of redefined the way I saw virtue and goodness and moral responsibility and leadership. And then kind of the next fundamental thing for me was the 2014 summer war in Gaza between Israel and Hamas. The international outcry against Israel, the intense violence of that summer, really showed me that I didn't want to just work on this issue from an American perspective, as an English speaker, but that I needed to leverage my background in Hebrew and invest now in learn Arabic. I viewed language and bridging those connections through language as the way that I was going to contribute to a more peaceful world and continue the fight of moving towards a more peaceful world. So my last year in university, September 2014, I started learning Arabic. And then after graduating in January 2016, I got on a plane and went to Israel and started learning Arabic intensively at Givat Haviva and Wadi Ara. So all of the teachers at Givat Haviva were Palestinian citizens of Israel. And we had one teacher in particular, his name was Ibrahim, who loved talking to us about the deep connections between Islam, Judaism, and Christianity. This was really just his thing. So one day in Arabic, we discussed, the story of Jacob and Esau and what it means for one person to lose their birthright to another. And obviously there were clear political undertones in discussing that story. And then somehow along the way in that same day, our teacher Ibrahim moved on to the subject of Yitzhak Rabin, and I was so interested to hear what this Palestinian citizen of Israel had to say about Yitzhak Rabin. He went on saying that Rabin was both good and bad for the Palestinians, both in the West Bank and in Israel. And he ended his speech about Yitzhak Rabin saying, Allah yarhamuhu, which is the Arabic equivalent of Zichrono livracha, may his memory be for a blessing. This really simple appreciation for Rabin, who gave his life for what he believed was right, completely changed my life. The words Allah yarhamuhu, spoken in the language of what most of the Jewish community considers to be the language of the enemy, really opened my eyes to something different, and it showed me that we can identify mutual interests and goals even across stark divides. And really, Ibrahim's Allah yarhamuhu, Zichrono livracha, may his memory be for a blessing, showed me that leadership really is not fighting in battles or necessarily protecting people with your own life, but it's actually about understanding current nuances and realities, coming up with some sort of alternative vision for the future, and then guiding other people in pursuing that alternative while acknowledging and accepting the inherent risks and uncertainties in the change that you want to make. So this is kind of where I see the world right now. Those qualities are the leadership that I hope to embody, and really, that's the person that I'd like to be. Thanks.